I welcome all of you to the last session of MEG-14, where we
Good
have
evening,
some
ma'am.
non-fiction. Good evening, dear. So, we have in this section we have non-fictional prose writing, which is non-fictional. By non-fictional, I mean they're not imaginative; they're all based on facts. And in this section, we have 4 units, and three of them are biographical writings. One is autobiography, and the last is a travelogue or travel story, travel writing. Okay, so we have Amrita Rai's Premchand, his life and times, Kalam Ka Sipahi, then Bama, Fastina married Fatima Rani, her Karuku autobiography. Then we have Sadat Hussain Mantos on Ismat and a pen sketch of Ismat Chuktai, pen sketch in Urdu. Then we have translation. Then we have Uma Prasad Mukhopadhyay's Mani Mahesh, travel writing in Bengali, translated by Sanjukta Das Gupta. So you have to deal all these four today. And first of all, we should know what is non-fictional writing.
Ma'am, it is not fictional, and plus it is based on real life incident.
It is based on facts. It is based on facts. Okay, and
Yes,
it
ma'am.
is a real. It is real stories. Real
Yes, ma'am.
stories, and this is not fictional, not imaginary like novels. Okay, these are prose writings. This is a special genre, and it offers. It is popular, and also it is authentic. It is not only popular; it is authentic. Though the creative art of the writer sometimes matters. So, non-fictional writing, you can take down a short note. Non-fictional writing includes those writings which are not very imaginary like novels, and this includes biography, autobiography, pen sketch, and travel writing, and also critical essays. You know Bacon's critical essays. Those who had English honors, they might be knowing criticism, critical essays. They are not fictional. They are all based on data. They are all based on statements. They are all based on facts. They are true stories. Biographies are all true stories of events. And like history, they are not imaginative. But history, while writing history, the historian uses wonderful vocabulary in order to make the history readable, more attractive, more impressive. But they are all facts. Similarly, this these writings, their biography, autobiography, travel writing, and pen sketch, and also you can include critical essay, commentary, all that. But in this block, we have only biography, autobiography, pen sketch, and travel writing. What do you mean by a biography?
When a person writes about his life experiences in his own words, that is a biography.
That is autobiography. You are wrong. What is
Okay. Now,
biography?
when someone writes on behalf of a person their life sketch,
When somebody writes others' life history, that is called biography. But when the
okay,
writer
ma'am.
writes about himself, it is autobiography. Okay, it is
Yes,
autobiography,
ma'am.
and Then you have pen sketch. What is pen sketch? Pen sketch is a different genre. What is it? What is pen sketch? Who can give any idea? Any idea? How do you know that this is a pen sketch? This is not a mere biography. How do you know? In a pen sketch, we find biographical details, personal eccentricities with interesting anecdotes of daily life. So it is not only biography, it is also full of stories from daily life. Anecdote means story. Stories from daily life. And what else? It is more intimate that of a writer, and it is not mere biographical. It is also colorful, it is interesting, it is a narrative, and it is biographic, it is personal eccentricities, excellent events of the life, along with biographical details. So this is a combination. This is found in Urdu literature, and the first pen sketch was Murakka Nigari. Murakka Nigari. This is understood as pen sketch. It is like drawing a person's life. So it is called pen sketch. There is a humor, there is understatement, and also there is hyperbole. These are the devices. Please note down. There is humor, there is understatement.
We are talking about pen sketch, ma'am, right?
Yeah, yeah. There is understatement. And what does the pen sketch have without not being biography, not being autobiography? How it is different from them?
Your microphone is on.
Humor, understatement, and hyperbole. These are the conventional devices. Conventional devices to express the person's life and portray him and
And these
portray
are conventional.
devices to explain the person's life, or to say write about the person's life as if it is portrayed by pen. So this is pen sketch. And in travelogue we find travel history. You might have read Gulliver's Travel.
Yes, ma'am.
That is a travelogue. That is a travel writing. Gulliver moves from here and there, and what experience he collects, that is mentioned throughout the novel, and that is a travel book, travel writing. So in this section we have these four. Now I'll come to the first. What is the first? Kalam Ka Sipahi.
Amrit
Remember?
Rai Premchand.
Amrit Rai's Premchand, his life and times, Kalam Ka Sipahi. The title is Kalam Ka Sipahi, translated by Harish Trivedi. Have you read? Why yesterday the class was very thin? Many of the familiar faces did not join. Very all busy on Sunday. Amrit Rai, Amrit Rai wrote this wonderful book on his father, Munshi Premchand, who was a Marxist, and also he had in Hindi literary world as a novelist, a short story writer. Who? Premchand, short story writer, dramatist, biographer, translator, so on and so forth. So he was a man of extreme literary talents, and he had various creations belonging to different genres. So Premchand, the writings of Premchand impressed his son so much that he wrote which book? Kalam ka Sipahi. Premchand was born in 1880 and died in 1936. So, Amrit Rai took interest in writing the, don't write. Amrit Rai took interest in writing the biography of his father, which was named Kalam Ka Sipahi, and he was awarded the famous Sahitya Academy Award in 1963 for this, and also the Soviet Land Nehru Award in 1971, and the Nehru Fellowship during 1977 and 79. So these the awards, they were the credits of Amrit Rai only for his purpose or only for his detailed writing on the biography of Premchand. Apart from that, there were many other books he had written, and the creations of Premchand was innumerable. And this book was translated by Harish Trivedi, who worked in the Department of English at the University of Delhi. He is also a renowned critic and translator. Basically, Kalam Ka Sipahi was written in 1962 in Hindi, and the original is 640 pages, which was translated into English by Harish Trivedi and published in 1982. But there is a difference between Hindi chapters and English chapters. So this novel was more or less a biographical novel because it is a non-fiction book. It is a detailed book. It is a voluminous book. It is a long book, but it was not novel because the first quality of the novel, first feature of the novel is it is largely imaginary. Imaginary and voluminous. It is not like short story. So the Kalam Ka Sipahi was first translated as a soldier with a pen by Harish Tripedi, but again he changed it to the pen as the sword. But this was not accepted by both of them, by Harish Trivedi and Amrit Rai himself. So it was rejected, and the subtitles of the Hindi book Kalam Ka Sipahi was highly appropriate and was most appreciated by the readers. The use of pen here, pen is the symbol. Kalam Ka Sipahi, the pen is the symbol, and it is the symbol of a weapon to fight with. So Premchand's writing was basically against the social norms, the people who were downtrodden. And as I told you from the beginning of this MEG-14, this is the latter part of the writing, right towards the end of 19th century up to 1960, say after independence, and almost all the writers focused, be it poetry, be it novel, be it this non-fictional prose, be it drama, all the writers they focused about the upliftment of the common people's ideas. They cared for the sentiments of the public, and here Premchand is the fighter, a fighter against the evils that bedeviled the Indian society, and also a fighter for freedom. Premchand was inveterately a man of the family and for the family. So, like Aristotle defined democracy, what is it? For the people,
Of the people and
Of
by
the
the
people,
people.
by the people. Sorry.
by the people. Yes, for the people, of the people, and by the people. So, Premchand also thinks that he is for freedom, he is for family, and he is of family. So, he wanted to uplift the common man to the mainstream through his powerful writing. So, the pen had stood as the symbol of war, or it is treated as weapon. The first symbol of this writing, this book, is pen. Kalam ka sipahi. Please write down. The symbol is, first symbol is pen. And it is treated as a weapon. It is treated as a weapon by which the writer can fight, by which the writer can fight the evils of the society. The genre of biography writing combines two important things. One is authenticity of history, and the other is aesthetic of literature. It is therefore a most difficult genre. Genre means the category of literature. The category. We have read novel, poems, drama, etc., etc., but this is non-fictional approach. And here we are doing the biography of Premchand. And according to the ethics of literature, uh, biography, write down. Biography is a combination of biography is a combination of authenticity of history with the aesthetics of literature. With the aesthetics of literature. Yes,
With the
Ma'am,
with
can you
the
please repeat the line?
yes. Biography is a combination of combination. It is not a bare description of somebody's life. It is not a dry description of somebody's life that he was born on this date and he studied in school in this date, he got married in this date, he died on this date. It is not that bare. It is colorful. It is aesthetic. By aesthetic, we mean the sense of beauty. By reading a book, we feel pleased, we retain pleasure, and that is the aestheticism of literature. Aestheticism of literature. And here he says that this is a combination of authenticity of history, authenticity of history with the
ma'am,
aesthetic,
authenticity of history.
authenticity of history. Should I tell the spelling?
Yes, 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 ma'am.
Ma'am, can you spell aesthetic? Aesthetic.
Yes, yes, I'm doing. Authenticity, 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 and aesthetics, AES, mind you, AES, then THETICS, aesthetics of literature. Aesthetics of
Ma'am, can
literature.
you
And
please
that is,
explain what is the meaning of aesthetics of literature?
this is how we don't get a drive. This just now I said no, it is not a bare description of somebody's life or the events of his life. It is colorfully written. It is a part of literature and it is enjoyable. For that, the writer needs his excellent descriptive art to impede into it and to instill the book with pleasure. That is sense of beauty. We find pleasure in reading biography also. Understood? It's like
Yes,
it is
ma'am. The
like the
way the
poets.
storyline is presented to the readers, that is the aesthetics of literature, which makes it pleasurable for the readers to read the
Yeah. It is
biography.
not a bare storyline. We are
Yes, ma'am.
just not chopping down the events of his life. Okay. A good biographer must be sympathetic. Okay. A good biographer must be sympathetic to the personage he is writing about and he must try to know all about him. Another important thing before writing biography is there should not be any confusion of data. Did you get my point? There should be no wrong information, no superfluous narration of what was not there. Understood? So biography is authentic, 100% authentic. Unless you know, please don't write history. So biography is like history. All the dates, all the events should be known properly, and then only it can be transferred to the book.
Ma'am, a good biographic be sympathetic
Yes, a
after
good
that.
biographer must be sympathetic to the personage or the person about whom he or she is writing. He should know all about him, not little. Little knowing and writing all wrong. No, it's not that. You have to be thorough about somebody's life. Now, the most important thing, if you go on asking questions, I will not have time to complete. Okay, please keep the last 10-15 minutes for questions. So there was an event that Premchand was wearing a shoes and that was torn. And Premchand ke phate jute. This is also a writing about Harishankar Prasai, who commented or criticized the get-up of Premchand because his juta or his shoes were torn and his toes were coming out of it. So, this is how he commented on his poverty, and that is not the right way. When you write the biography, you should not comment on this, but this is a mockery, this is satire, this is a comment on his get-up and his childhood. Good childhood.
And Premchand's childhood, Munshi
Premchand.
Premchand's.
Premchand's childhood. Yes, all about Premchand. Writer is Amrit Rai, with son, but everything is about Premchand. So his childhood was almost like any rural upbringing or any village boy who did not get enough chance to study and spend time lavishly. So most of the times he spent in the village Lamahi, bringing down mangoes right and on right from the trees, playing with Kajaki, a male runner. A male runner means a postman who would tell him and other children tales of all kinds. And at 8 starts learning Urdu and Persian. Is fond of sugarcane and jaggery. Loses mother, father remarriage, mother's loss reflected in his writings. Later, in at 13, develops a new interest in reading tales of magic and suspense and romance. Starts writing stories of social relevance. His first piece of writing is about a philandering uncle who gets bitten by the villagers for trying to molest a charo man of the house. Nawab writes a burlesque. He is called Nawab also. Nawab writes a burlesque in the form of a play on the incident that proves effective in sending the uncle away. So these are the extracts of his literary excellence or how he could write. And most of his writings they started from funny to serious. Very normal events of the day first he wrote, then gradually he became serious. This is the transformation of a good writer. First you write small poems about petty things, and then you become seasoned, and then you write serious things which will be widely appreciated. So this was the style of Premchand. Karma Bhumi was another novel of Premchand which was written in 1932. Here, in this book, he wanted to provoke nationalism among the minds of the uh, Indians. So, he was not only a passionate writer about different petty things which gave pleasure, but he was also serious about the nation and he had adequate involvement regarding the freedom struggle of India and also wrote many poems, many books, many stories in order to provoke the national spirit of the people.
Ma'am, do you
This
mind
book,
repeating what is written in the Karma Bhumi novel by Premchand once again?
it is all about the provocation. He wanted to provoke the people of India and all about Rangbhumi also. In the book Rangbhumi, this is also another book in which was written in 1922, and this is also this had a nationalistic concern, which is reflected in the novel. And Surdas, a blind old beggar, a projection of the writer himself and of Gandhi, other likenesses with the Nehrus, other people, charges of plagiarism leveled against him. Plagiarism means copy somebody's book without permission, without acknowledgement. plagiarism. You can note down. Plagiarism is to copy somebody's writing without permission, and if you copy it, you must give inverted comma. And if you do that without permission and without acknowledgement, then that is crime. That can lead to legal complications. Okay. Then Premchand defends himself and becomes a literary advisor to Ganga Pustak Mala, a publishing house in Lucknow, and he got his remuneration rupees 100 per month. He had written a book called Hans. This book, Hans, was dedicated for preparing the Indians to fight for Swaraj. The theme line or the main interest of Premchand in writing this, or the main drive, was to motivate the Indians to prepare to fight for Swaraj. That was written in 1930. And when he was involved with the events like Dandi March of Mahatma Gandhi and began in 25 March 1930, Premchand was a rebel, and any other event of Indian freedom struggle had impressed him so much that he used to write on any of the topic instantly. And gradually, his wife, Sivarani Devi, became a Congress activist and was also arrested for picketing at Lucknow. So these are historical data, biographical sketches. Then Premchand was deeply disturbed over the widening gulf between Hindi and Urdu. This is important. As a literary figure, he had equal affinity toward Hindi and Urdu. But in the latter days, he could find that Premchand in Delhi with Jainendra Kumar Jain on Holi inaugurates the Hindustani Sabha at Jamia Millia, and he is concerned about the widening gulf between Urdu and Hindi. Is persuaded to agree to preside over the Progressive Writers Association, Lucknow, in April 1936. So, in this event, he felt that there is a wide gap between Hindi and Urdu. Actually, there is a wide gap because the accent, the vocabulary of Urdu seem to be more what do you say, more antique or older than Hindi. Hindi has been simplified, and anybody who stays inside the territory of India can understand Hindi. But it is very difficult to understand Urdu. And for that, he did not like the difference between Hindi and Urdu. And also he presided over Arya Bhasa Sammelan at Lahore in the same month and speaks at the dire need of bridge the gulf between Urdu and Hindi. So he intended to say in different meetings that there should be no gap, there should be no gulf, there should be no gap of communication between Hindi speaking and Urdu speaking people. So he wanted to bridge this gap. Then he takes part, he speaks at the Hindustani Sabha, and then also he takes part in Bharatiya Sahitya Parishad at Nagpur in April 1936 with Gandhi in the chair. Then Godan is published and his health deteriorates. So Godan probably was his last novel, Godan. Now question. Question number 1. What made Amrit Rai write the biography of Premchand? This will cover all. This will cover all the writings of Premchand. Or one answer. Or discuss in detail the literary achievements of Premchand. These are two general questions which will cover all. Apart from that,
First question.
first question,
Yes, ma'am.
I forgot. Who had written?
Which question, ma'am?
What made
What made Amrit Rai write the biography of Premchand? Or same question, same answer. Or discuss in detail the literary achievements of Premchand. But there can be other questions also. Yes, Shivani, are you saying something?
Yes, ma'am. I'm saying that. Thank you for that.
Are you saying something?
and she thanked you for the question you dictated again.
Oh my God, there is interruption. No, there is echo. Whatever you have to tell me towards the end of the class, please. Okay. All thanks I will receive then. Another question can be there which covers the whole book, the whole discussion of this biographical sketch. That is, Premchand rises from the grassroots,
Man, what grassroots?
very bottom level. Grassroots is very bottom level. Rises from the grassroots to the pinnacle of his career. Pinnacle, top point, peak, highest point, pinnacle of his career. Justify.
Okay, ma'am.
How Amrit Rai distinguishes, I have another three people to read. How Amrit Rai distinguishes Premchand from other writers of the time. From other writers of the time. Next we come to Bama. Unit 2. Next we come to Bama. Fastina marry Fatima Rani. Fastina marry Fatima Rani, and her writing is Karuku. Karuku. What is Karuku? This is an autobiography. I think you have distinguished between biography and autobiography. You can know what is it? Yes or no?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
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 Yes, ma'am.
Yes. This is all about Dalit literature. Fastina Mary, Fatima Rani, she is a Dalit writer and she belongs to Tamil Nadu, Tamil Dalit writer. And primarily, this Dalit literature started in Maharashtra in 1960. Note down. Dalit literature first started in Maharashtra in 1960 and slowly spread to the rest of India.
Ma'am, can you repeat the year in which Dalit literature started in Maharashtra?
1960, dear, 1960,
Okay,
and
ma'am.
then spread to the rest of India. By Dalit, by Dalit, we mean, or Dalit means one who is ground, not land, not ground, grind, past participle of grind. One who is ground, crushed, broken into pieces,
Ma'am, which ground?
crushed, or broken into pieces. And to extend the meaning, this can be said that this term refers to those who fall outside the Hindu caste system. The Hindu caste system, the outcasts, inverted comma, This is outcast is within inverted comma, or the untouchables within inverted comma. They have different names in different society, and most famous name is Harijan. Harijan, or children of God. This was coined by Mahatma Gandhi. Dr. Bhimrao Ramji Ambedkar, the father of Indian Constitution, was a great Dalit leader.
Because he was also belonging from Dalit.
Well, he
Yes,
was
ma'am?
a Dalit man. Yes, Bhimrao Ramoji Ambedkar, Ramji, not Ramoji, Ramji. He defines Dalithood. Please include this in your answer. If you get a long question on Dalit literature, please include all this. Okay. He defined Dalit or Dalithood. Dalit or Dalithood, inverted comma, begins life conditions which characterize the exploitation, suppression, and marginalization of Dalits.
Which characterize?
We first dear which characterize the exploitation, suppression, and marginalization of Dalits by the social, economic, cultural, and political domination of Dalits by the social, economic, cultural, and political domination of the upper castes. Mind you, this is caste, especially Brahmins, upper castes, inverted commas. Upper caste, Brahminical ideology. Inverted commas, Brahminical ideology. He used different names like scheduled castes, scheduled castes, which is used in the Constitution of India, then depressed castes, depressed classes. When he addressed the British rulers, then he says Bahishkrut or outcast, Bashkrut, Bahishkrut or outcast. And what he used to upper caste Hindus and Pad Dalit means crossed underfoot. He means to say them Pad Dalit, again inverted comma. All these words you write within inverted comma. Pad Dalit, which means crossed underfoot.
Ma'am, underfoot.
Yes, crushed underfoot is Pad Dalit. That means they are crushed by foot of the upper class people. Okay. The concept of Dalit was not confined to neither to Ambedkar nor to this lady Bama. there was a widespread notion that there was a widespread notion that Dalits don't have any right to live. Dalits don't have any right to live with freedom. This lady Bama, which is the pen name of Fastina Mary Fatima Rani, this lady Bama, which full name is, it is the pen name of Fastima Mary Fatima Rani. Please write down this name first. Fastina Mary, F-A-U-S-T-I, all pronoun, please write correctly. Faustina, Fastina Mary, M-A-R-Y, Fatima Rani. Fatima Rani. And the pen name is Bama. She was born in a Roman Catholic family in 1958 in the village of Puthupatti in Tamil Nadu. She was born in Tamil Nadu. That's all. Her pseudo name is Bama. Her grandfather was converted to Christianity, and the status of the family did not change much, and they remained landless laborers. Now, one thing I must mention that when many people from tribal area or even in Odisha, even in other states, many people were converted to Christianity only with the hope that they will get better opportunity, they will get property, they will get gold, and all these temptations were ensured to them. But after conversion, they didn't get anything, and Bama belongs to one such category. Okay. The status of the family did not change much after they remained landless laborers working for upper class landlords. So they were laborers. Our favorite game was Kabaddi. This you did not write in the answer. Okay. So when she grew up, she found education to be very essential. And her favorite writers were Jayakantan, Jayakantan, Akhilan, Mani, and Parthasarathi, all Tamil writers. Jayakantan, Akhilan, Mani, and Parthasarathi, three writers, all were Tamil writers. She also read Rabindranath Tagore. When she was in college, she used to write many poems also. She also wrote many poems. When she was in the church, she even when she was in the class, she was a prompt student, and she belongs to the peer group or answers everything very fast and promptly. And when she was once in the church, she could sing whatever the priest wanted, and the priest came up and kissed her. So that had impressed this made a twist in her life, and that had impressed her so much that she came to know that the priest can embrace me and kiss me because he doesn't believe in the orthodox practice of hating Dalits. That event became the eye opener for Bama, and she started writing. There is an this book Karuku. What is it mean? I don't know. Her book Karuku is an autobiographical narrative. but it is different from mere autobiography. There is all attestation of truth, and also there is a social criticism. Look at the theme. There are attestations of truth, or there is all attestation of truth. Certificate. Attestation means certificate of truth, and there is also social critic. It is also well structured, and she had added little fiction to it, and this has become the best book in Dalit literary world. Karuku. Name of the biography is Karuku, autobiography. Karuku is divided into 9 chapters and also has a preface both in Tamil and in English version, and an afterword, epilogue, only in English version. The introduction to the book are also worth reading. Lakshmi Holmstrom, Holmstrom, Lakshmi Holmstrom had translated this book, and also Marcus and Jairaj in Tamil, another 2 writers. The word Karuku means Pamira leaves. Pamira leaves, like palm leaves. It has 2 edges or double edged. It is compared to a double edged sword. The word Karuku also has the word inside it, Karu, which means egg or seed or embryo. She had to face a very oppressed life, and there was one embryo of literary writing in her heart, and she could flourish to a great literary writer. The preface of this book gives an account of how this book Karuku originated. She all the while praised the word of God, and she feels that the word of God is living and active, sharper than any two-edged sword, piercing to the yes, you note down this. While justifying the title, please note down. While justifying the book, the title of the book, inverted comma begins. The word of God is living and active, comma. I repeat, the word of God is living and active, comma, sharper than any two-edged sword, sharper than any two-edged, edged, edged. Edge means the margin or the side of the sword. Okay, two-edged sword, comma, piercing to the division of soul and spirit. Piercing to, this is very, very religious and very, very metaphysical. It's not so easy to understand. Piercing to the division of soul and spirit, of joints and marrow, and discerning the thoughts and intentions of the heart. This is an extract from Bible, and this is the voice of Hebrews. feels, don't write, listen to me. Bama feels that in the existing society, there is no trust on God, and the word of God is not no more respected. So she wanted to instill in the minds of common people whatever God said. And what God said is more than anything else of this world. And everybody should be responsive to God. So she feels that the Dalits must speak up now, functions as God's word, function as God's word, and pierce the hearts of the oppressors. So here is a message that Bama gives, that every Dalit has right to speak, and he or she should get up and speak for himself, speak out his art. Let the people know what is there in his mind, what is there in his heart. Let the people be convinced they are no more subject to oppression. There should be a change, a great change in the society, which will make a perfect transition of Dalits to higher class people. That was the message in the preface. In chapter 1, he says her village is beautiful. He says her village is extremely beautiful, and she narrates all the beautiful thing of his village, of her village, and how they use the pond, how washerman comes, and how there is a difference of sitting arrangement in the village. Girls were restricted inside the door, and how boys were free to move. All these things she has mentioned. And in chapter 2, she mentions untouchability. This is the prime motif of the writer throughout the book. The Dalits were untouchables. And now she is fighting for the untouchability, right from chapter 2. She says that she saw it in practice and was humiliated by it when she was a young child. Walking back from school in her usual fashion, she describes her walk back from school, how she used to dawdle and watch the goings on around her. She gives us a view of what all used to happen in the marketplace those days. And this is all about local events and common things of the society that she wants to point out in the chapter 2. But emphatically, she tells us about the caste system, how caste is not accepted. In chapter 3, she delineates conflicts between pariahs and chaliars. If you can mention this. This is a regional right over the cemetery that pariahs and traditionally used to Bamas in Bama's village. Cemetery. Cemetery means where grave, where coffins are dead bodies. They are cremated. That is cemetery. And they are made little tombs. That is called cemetery. And there was a disturbance between pariahs, two sects of people, sects. And this cemetery was next to Chaliar Community School. The upper caste Christian had a different cemetery. The Chaliars wanted the cemetery so that it could become a playground for their school. They wanted to make the cemetery the playground for their school, which was not possible. And then she details police brutality. She also tells how police was misbehaving people, police brutality in this section, and the resilience of the women of her community. She remembers how even the church sided against them. That means nobody in the society, even the police, even the church, they did not support the ladies of Dalit community. This was all that. Then she comes to narrate the hard labor that constitute the life of lower castes and about the exploitation and the little reward they get. As you know, if you go to see where there is a construction, there is a contractor, and there are male laborers and also women laborers, you will find those women laborers, they come from a very rustic society or say Dalit society or say underdeveloped society. They don't get equal wage like those of the males. Understood? So that is also there. That was also prevalent in that time. And she detested this and opposed this straightforwardly. And she had also worked, her mother was a daily laborer. And even when she was in school, also she had to do hard work. That is it. And grandmother was a true and proper servant. Her grandmother, she worked hard from dawn to dusk. Dawn to dusk means from morning to evening, 6 days a week, and even seven when called for. So there was no limit. This is very common. You find that those people who work for those Dalit people who work as servants, slaves in the high class people, they don't have any option to work according to their will. They are usually ordered, even they work overtime. So that was a compulsion, and all these things that has touched her, and that's why uh, she dislikes, hates this social custom of torturing the Dalit people. And in society, the Dalit children, the Dalit boys were able to go to cinema when they grew up, but girls could not go to play outside the house. And they are see then describes the pastimes of the adult men from cards to kabaddi. So men were allowed in the society to play kabaddi and cards. So these are certain things about festivals. Also, she says that singing and dancing were allowed, and taking processions were also allowed, but it was not allowed for women or Dalit women. Her parents were very poor, but despite all her poverty, she could do B.Ed. She finished her B.Ed and joined a school as teacher. She realized that if only Dalit children could be given a decent education, they too, they too could live a life of moderate comfort like her. This was the impulse which made her enter a convent school. So she was a teacher, and the whole purpose. This is the she became the torch bearer of the Dalit community, especially the women. So when she entered into a school as a teacher, she thought that uh, Dalit children will get better venue of life if only they are educated. And to educate them, she joined the school. And about prayers, she had a strong religious mind. And prayers, according to her, it punctuated the daily life. And attendance at church was enforced by the beatings delivered by teachers at school. Uh, she remembered an incident when visiting while I told you this, pleased by her recitation of prayer, and lifted her up and kissed her. So all these things happened in her biography, and more or less she had tried to focus on the Dalit affairs. Karuku, note down. Please note down. Karuku is a different kind of book. The narrator, who is the narrator? Who is the narrator?
Bama.
She,
Bama.
Bama himself, herself.
Yes, yes. The narrator is the writer. She's writing autobiography. Karuku is a different kind of book. The narrator describes various events again and again from different perspectives. And she has given or categorized them as
And she,
she has categorized them different events of her life. They means different events of her life as work, games, and recreation. Work, this you must write. Work, comma, games, comma, recreation, comma, education, comma, belief, etc. It is almost like enjoying The result, when a number of stones are hurled into the water of a pond. This you can imagine. So variety of things she wanted to mention and categorized them into these broad categories, and then summed up that the Dalit life is such. So her life is the representative of the Dalit community. Her, her biography is the total account of the Dalit society. Understood? Write down.
Ma'am,
Faith and
where
religion. Yes, yes, yes. Any problem?
where a number of stones,
Hurl into a pond. The book Karuku is an account of not only of Burma, is an account not of, is an account not only of Burma, but it is a proper history of Dalit society. Her primary identity is a Dalit girl. Her primary identity is a Dalit girl. She speaks of the strange, rich, and lavish meals. She speaks of the strange, rich, and lavish meals, as also of the size of the buildings. When she sees the church, and she feels that she's an outcast. She criticizes the non-practice, non-NUN in the church. She criticizes the non-practice in the church and dislikes the hypocrisy maintained by the administration. The nuns had no relation with the normal life. They were trained to,
Ma'am, the nun has.
nuns in the church, they were not connected to the life they will spend in the later years. They were trained typically to survive within the premises of the church. And the food they were, I'm coming to that. And the food they were getting was very less. Though they were assured more, they were not they were not getting their due. Nuns were not connected to the lives they had to live later. They were trained to they were trained to adjust and fit themselves into into the administration or the practices of the church. there was a disjunction in the church about what was professed and what was practiced.
What was it? In the church, what was?
Professed and what was practiced. That means they were assured that you will be given good food, good dress, your hour of service is this much. But once they enter into that, they are not free to say anything, to protest, or even to forego the work. They were compelled to be within the practice of the church. And sometimes this book Karuku, it created a stir in Tamil literary circles. This book Karuku within single inverted comma, it created a stir, STIR, stir. That means it disturbed the total Tamil community. Stir in Tamil literary circles after its publication. And Bama felt a transition in herself.
And after,
And, and Bama felt a transition in herself. After publication,
Bama failed.
a transition in herself. Different Dalit writers, critics, and historians, they define Dalit literature that it is characterized by three values of life. Characterized by three values of life: equality, freedom, and solidarity. And these values,
Solidarity.
solidarity, and these values, inverted comma begins again, can be regarded as
Sorry, madam. Solidarity and equality, solidarity and
solidarity, inverted comma ends. Okay. And then inverted comma begins. And these values can be regarded, inverted comma begins, can be regarded as constituting the essence of beauty in Dalit literature. The essence of beauty in Dalit literature. The literature of the oppressed, comma, the literature with a cause. The literature about the rights of the unprivileged. Write like this. In exam also write like this. The literature,
Literature of oppressed, and then
then the literature about the rights of the unprivileged. And the most important thing in Karuku is that, don't write, rights of the unprivileged finished. And the most important thing in Karuku is that the language of the novel, the language of the book is all Christian language, pure popular Catholicism language. Language of popular Catholicism, not of any high class literature. Though this is an autobiography, but the message is widespread. It has intended to sensitize. Please write all these lines in your answer. It has intended to sensitize the Dalit community about the fundamental rights of human being. About the fundamental rights of human being. Now, over questions. Two general questions. Two general questions. One. If you get small questions regarding the events of Bama's life, you can write accordingly. But the general question that is there is that how does Karuku, how does Karuku put forth, put forth the demands of Dalit community? The Dalit community. Next question. Give your opinion or comment on the stylistic technique of writing, stylistic technique of writing by Bama. Can I take a break for 5 minutes?
Yes, ma'am, sure.
Then we will do another two topics, okay?
Okay, ma'am.
Please, anyone can share since beginning what I'm taught.
So the third writer is Sadat Hassan Manto on Ismat Chugtai, Urdu writer. Translation is done by Shovana Bhattacharjee, Bengali. On Ismat, a pen sketch. In this is also a biography and also a pen sketch, which is called in Urdu Murakka Nigari, which combine biographical facts and also about the person with his distinction in his or her chosen field of work in order to present a fairly full picture of the person. That is pen sketch. And this is biography and also a pen sketch of Iswa Chugtai. And you will see how Manto is describing Ismat Chugtai's literary career. So the title of the book is On Ismat by Manto. It was written in 1949 in Urdu. 1949 in Urdu. Right. See, Sadat Hassan Manto. He was born in 1912 and died in 1955. He was one of the most powerful writers in Urdu fiction in 20th century. But you will be surprised to know he did not have a very brilliant school or college days. He did not have a very brilliant school or college days. He passed matriculation in 3 attempts. On the third attempt, he could be successful. Then he was admitted to Hindu Sabha College, and also he did not do better. He became very indifferent to his studies. He paid more attention to films and books outside the college syllabus. So he was not a good student at all. But he was fond of reading. He skipped out with his friends to watch Hollywood movies and make imaginary plans to get to Moscow secretly. And in Moscow, he met Abdul Bari Alig, whom he regarded as the literary mentor. Bari, and a journalist, and also a very good writer. And he could find talent in Mr. Manto. He introduced him to the classics of English, French, and Russian. So Manto was guided by Mr. Bari, another Urdu person, and he guided him to learn English, especially English, French, Russian literature. Manto read avidly from the works of Oscar Wilde, Chekhov, Pushkin, Maupassant, Victor Hugo, and others. So these strong, prolific writers he read, and then there was a change and enthusiasm in Mr. Manto. And Bari asked him to translate Victor Hugo's The Last Days of the Condemned, and he did it successfully. A play opposing capital punishment. He next translated Oscar Wilde's Vera, another work with a revolutionary intent. So Mr. Manto was not a good student, but he was a brilliant writer. He was a brilliant writer, and he learned English under the guidance of Mr. Bari. In 1940, he joined All India Radio, Delhi. It was a turning point in his career. And he was at that time many literary luminaries like Ahmad Shah Bukhari, N.M. Rasid, Miraji, Upendranath Ask were associated with it. So when he entered All India Radio, there are many good scholars and writers in that. So he got ample scope to endorse and fulfill his aspiration in writing. So, about Manto's worldview, we can say that his philosophy of life, he was propounded no coherent philosophy. He had no single idea, no commitment towards any philosophy. And he thought that life, through his fictional and discursive writings, a close study of them will reveal that he gives a higher status to certain values and concepts that include frankness, underline this or write down. The major idea of Manto behind writing, the major ideas of Manto behind writing were not writing just or even philosophy. What he wanted to include, what he wanted to include frankness, honesty, discrepancy between appearance and reality, what people say or preach and what they practice in their private lives, the validity of sex in life, the ethics of human relations, and the ambiguous nature of reality. The humanity that shines through, shines SHINE, the humanity that shines SHINE, shines through in his writings about downtrodden people living on the fringes of society. And he had this was his integral part, his vision. This was the integral part of his vision. He was very witty, humorous, and his pitiless irony. He did not excuse any class of society, any high class people, any person who were socially corrupt. He did not excuse them. He was pitiless in his irony. And he discarded spurious idealism and hypocrisy that destroyed social interaction. That destroyed social interaction. He was not interested in hallowed angels. He thinks that human being is not an angel nor a devil. He knows this much that he is a creature on earth who has potentiality of committing original sin, mischief, murder. So a very robust writer he was. He was very frank, very strong, and he never cared anybody in the society while commenting, criticizing them. He used his pen very successfully, and his writing also uh, contextualized in 1947. He criticized the people of Bombay, and he felt that Bombay, the purity of Bombay is no more. And during the time of freedom struggle, the combination of circumstances made many people leave Mumbai and migrate to Pakistan. And this fratricidal violence, fratricide means killing of brother, fratricide, FRATRI CID. Fratricidal violence witnessed by him during partition destroyed his psyche, and he wrote some of the most powerful stories on the event. So he had written partition stories, and the most important of them are Kholdo, Tobatek Singh, write down, Kholdo, Tobatek Singh, Titwal Ka Kutta, Titwal Ka Kutta, and Thanda Ghost. Thanda Ghost. He died in Lahore in 1955. He was very much disappointed and broken. He was abandoned by his relatives and fellow writers, and he was thoroughly ignored by Pakistani establishment. Though he was a Urdu fellow, he wrote many things in Urdu, but he was not accepted by Pakistani people. Then we come to pen sketch on Ismat Chubutai. I told you pen sketch is not a bare narration of life events or the chronicle of a life. In Urdu, this is called Murakka Nigari. It is an interesting genre in Urdu literature. It combines biographical details with personal eccentricities, with interesting anecdotes. Anecdotes mean story of daily life. To draw a fuller or more intimate portrait of a writer or celebrity than mere biographical facts can ever do. So this is pen sketch. That means you have to describe everything: his achievements, how is he, his likes, dislikes, his favorite works, his biography, his what he has done in life, what he could have given to society. All these things were there in pen sketch. On Ismat, the original title in Urdu is Ismat Chugtai, is a pen portrait of one of Urdu's most celebrated writers, Ismat Chugtai. In that pen sketch, Manto organizes different disparate materials. Manto did not describe the life of Ismat Chugtai barely. He made a structure, organized structure of the writing. That is, combining the materials of biographical and historical data, imaginary dialogue, narration. Write down, this is the style. The style of On Ismat by Manto. Style and theme. Manto organizes discordant and disparate materials like biographical and historical facts, imaginary dialogues, narration of actual events, literary criticism into one whole, so that the widely different elements of the sketch hang together without any overlap. Without any overlap. There is certain unity between Ismat Chughtai's writing and Manto's style of interpretation of her personality. Manto's fictional writings are devoid of realistic details, but Ismat Chughtai's,
Ma'am, physical writing.
where are you?
Ma'am, Manto's physical writing describe the
Read the sentence fully. Has anybody written?
Yes, ma'am. It's Manto's fictional writings are devoid of too many realistic details.
Many realistic details. Many realistic details. But in Ismat Chugtai, we find a proper reference to chronology. We find a proper reference to chronology. Chronology means series of events in order. Chronology with a recognizable and historically verifiable context. With a recognizable and historically verifiable context. The
ma'am and
place is Bombay,
historically.
historically verifiable context.
Ver-
That means this can be referred to in history, verifiable context. The place is Bombay, Clary Road, and the time is 1942. So the time frame is 1942 when Quit India movement is on. Ismat also was writing a number of stories in that time. She was highly received in the Urdu literary circles.
And she was highly.
Received in the Urdu literary circles. A pen sketch or a pen portrait, no, a pen sketch is like drawing a pen portrait in words, where the most prominent aspects of a life of a person,
Drawing, ma'am, drawing.
while the most prominent prospects of life are highlighted. Are highlighted. He distinguishes very well. He distinguishes very well between the pen sketch and the biography. In the pen sketch, Manto compares his own art with Ismat Chughai's. But he admits that, don't write, be fast. Another topic is there. But he admits that Chughtai had a natural talent for storytelling, natural talent for storytelling, but she lacked art or craft.
Ma'am, natural talent of for storytelling.
But lacked art and craft. But lacked art and craft. The style Manto adopted was conversational. Though some of the original flavor is not there in the translation, but the original writing is highly enjoyable, which is accompanied by startling innovation and illusion of eloquence,
Ma'am, startling.
innovation, and also illusion of eloquence.
କ'ଣ କହିଲ? କାମ ଅଛି ବାଲିଘାଟ। ଏଇ ତମର ବାଲିଘାଟରେ କରିବ?
Please switch off your mic.
ବାଲିଘାଟ ଯେଠି ମେଳା ହୁଏ ନା, ଏଇ ଯୋଉ ଇଏ ହୁଏ।
Mr.
ଓହୋ
Keyboard,
ହଁ
please
ଯାଇଛି
switch
ଯାଇଛି
off
ମୁଁ
your.
ଦେଖିଛି
Oh
ଥରେ
my
ଥରେ
God.
ଯାଇଥିଲି ଏଇ ବର୍ଷ
Oh my
ଯାଇଥିଲି।
God. Did you switch off your mic? Kirod, what is this? Whole class is being disturbed. As it is, we have a lot of things to do. Side by side, I'm discussing questions and giving notes. And if this interruption will continue, it will be very difficult to manage time. Where was I? Swayze?
Religion of eloquence, ma'am.
Eloquence. And also, Manto felt that there was no corresponding depth of meaning. That there was no corresponding depth of meaning. Manto appreciates the work of Chiptai but becomes a stern literary critic. And criticizes
Ma'am, Manto appreciates work of Chughtai, but
Manto appreciates Chuptai, but he is a stern literary critic on her. Stern literary critic on her. The style used in the sketch is autobiographical. Sometimes he talks about his own life and own life facts. Sometimes he talks about his own life and art and his life facts. discusses his own writing along with that of Chughtai's. He compares and differentiates.
He compares and differentiates.
Differentiates. He compares and differentiates the writing of his own and Chughtai's. However, though Manto doesn't find any extraordinary thing about Chugtai, but he devotes his pen sketch, in reflecting all the best part of Chughtai's writing. Parts of Chughtai's writing. 20 minutes more, another topic is there. Question: what, in the views of Manto, are the similarities and differences? In the writings of Ismat Chugtai and Manto, or between the writings of Ismat Chugtai and Manto? On Ismat, yes,
Ma'am, another question, right?
yes, on Ismat, within single inverted comma, may be regarded as a social document reflecting social values and conventions
Ma'am, is
As a
it
social,
maybe
as a
regarded
social
as a
document.
reflecting social values and conventions of the prevalent society.
Ma'am, please repeat the question.
Of the prevalent society. Interpret, next question, all general, everything you have to mention. What I said, interpret the pen sketch of Ismat Chugtai, or interpret on Ismat as a pen sketch. All done? Very good. Now the last unit of MEG-14.
Ma'am, Mani Mahesh.
Money Mice, what is it? Who can say?
Ma'am, a travel log.
It's a traveler, but what is Money Mice?
Ma'am, it's a tourist destination.
Yes, tourist destination. It is a place near which
Ma'am, near
place?
Dal Lake. Dal Lake.
Dal Lake.
Ma'am, Chamba district.
It is in, yes, Chambal district of Himachal Pradesh. So you must say it is in Himachal Pradesh. Okay, Chamba district. Very good. Are you all reading at home?
Yes, ma'am.
Acha, one thing, this is my last class, I should not say anything. For those students who are joining at the end, towards the end of the class, why do they join? What benefit do they get? Do they really get any benefit? If you join towards the end of the class, only 10 minutes are there, say 12 minutes. How this teaching will give any leave an impact on you? Anyway, tell me something about money mice.
Ma'am, that the corn is their uh, pa- uh, corn is their pet. Corn is their food and staple food. And there is a person named Naga Baba.
Who is treated as the god in the village, ma'am? And
Lord Shiva, Lord Shiva, it is a mini Kailas.
yeah, that is called the Chota Kailas also.
What is a travelogue? Tell me, from your common sense, you tell me.
Here, the writer describe about his experiences he is going through while traveling.
While traveling, one thing you must remember, you people must be traveling from this place to that. And India is full of wonderful places meant for tourism and travels. So when you travel, you not only go by a car or a train or a flight. There you are involved in seeing many things, interpreting them, realizing them, writing about them in the latter period of your life or when you come back from the travel. So, uh, travelogue is an account of, right on, a travelogue is an account of somebody's travel which is accompanied by insight,
Ma'am,
insight,
which is accompanied by.
insight, INSIGHT, insight of a creator or a writer. It is not only to enjoy the journey, the prime purpose is to learn and to send the message to the readers. Not only message, information to the readers about the land you traveled or the place you traveled. The famous travelogue in English classics are Robinson Crusoe and Gulliver's Travels. And in also classic Greeks, the books like Odyssey is also a travelogue, can be treated as a travelogue. And how the voyage it describes the hero's voyage from the Trojan War. Usually, warrior heroes they travel from this place to that place. You can take Ramayana and Mahabharata in this regard. In our own epic of Ramayana and Mahabharata, we see Ram finding a number of things in the forest, discovering the forest, and also in Mahabharata, We find a lot of new things, new places when the Pandavas are in Agyatbas, unknown stay. Understood? So travelers always drift from or they originate in the experience of the writer from moving here and there. There are many types of travels and travel literature. They are types of travel is study tour. What is the purpose? Purpose is to go to a place and learn about that. Study tour. See and enjoy and learn. In colleges, you find study tours, picnics, all these. Then, when a scientist goes to a place and makes a research there, that purpose is different. Understood? So, Moni Mahes is a place. It is
Ma'am,
yes,
many types of travel and travel literature. Those are
many types of travel literature. Not only when you go to study tour, when the scientist goes for a research work or collecting sample to a distant place, it has different purposes. Understood? There he doesn't write the travel history. There he writes how he collected the sample. Understood? But Mani Mahes is a place. Where is it?
in
Chamba
Himachal Pradesh.
district, Himachal Pradesh.
It is in Himachal Pradesh and it is near Bharmor. There is a place called Bharmor and Goderan, and it is famous for the Gadis. Gadis means nomadic tribe who are migrated from the Central Asia. They are called Gadis, and this is also called Shiv Bhumi because Lord Shiva, who is the god of creation and destruction, is worshipped here, and it is famous for the sanctity of Lord Shiva. It is the snow mountain that is also Chamba's small Kailas, which helps others to know its position in the natural landscape of India. It has a resemblance and justifiable comparison to the majestic Kailas range of the Himalayas, and its striking physical attributes that it is a snow-covered mountain. Mani Mahesh, very good. One should visit.
Ma'am, majestic, ma'am, majestic.
Majestic Kailas range of the Himalayas. It is compared to that because it is also full of snow. And this writer, who is the writer? What is his name?
Uma Prasad Mukhopadhyay.
Mukhopadhyay, Bengali man. Yes, Bengalis are very much fond of writing and they write excellently well. Those who are Bengalis feel proud, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
Uma Prasad Mukhopadhyay. So he is a visitor to this place and he was highly impressed to see the location of Mani Mahesh. He was a man who was fond of adventure and devotion to the mountain. In December 1990 issue of this, the leading Bengali weekly, he had said in an interview with Salil Datta that he was satisfied with minimal comforts while traveling. Forever eager to be away from the maddening crowd, he had always been passionate about the silent, sun-kissed Himalayan peaks and completely absorbed in them as if in deep meditation. So this man, Mr. Mukhopadhyay, he has very much affinity towards loneliness, towards the fauna and flora that is natural ambience, and he loves to go to the places where there is no crowd, madding crowd. He hates madding crowd. In Mani Mahesh, we find objective facts like mighty ruins and mountains of bygone ages. Bygone ages means past days, not thrown into the distance. The travel writer narrates, therefore, no subjective. He is greatly intermingled with the personal observation. In this travelogue, the narrator's meetings with Masterji, the ranger, Mr. Sood, Dr. Sahib, and others have the flavor of a singular interaction that only he is equipped to construct. See, along with him, there were Mr. Sood, Dr. Sahib, and a ranger called Masterji. This writing is done in the manner of a dialogue. Modern day travel writing is not descriptive. It is rather like a discussion. It is like a dialogue. And there are many such dialogues which are under consideration in the writing of Mr. Mukhopadhyay. It is very descriptive. As there is no time, I am touching upon certain stylistic part of the writing. You can read. It is there is a cord. The cord is made of. There are also tribal people who are wearing a cord on their waist, and they belong to the. They all use to smoke hookahs, and a very tight attire of their body is the cord. They are called gadis. Gadis are also nomadic tribes. And after narrating the story of there is a goddess called Brahmani Devi, whose permission is needed for everything. Understood? For any damn thing, you need to have the blessing of Brahmani Devi. And she has to be appeased before anything which takes place within her ambit or sphere of influence. And the author tells us that he has heard that plentiful water in Barmore will now be used to generate electricity. Hearing of this, he had a fellow traveler called Himadri, who asked Sud in a there is a discussion about the prospect of the locality and how they are going to improve it, how will be a change in the Mani Mahesh. All this goes on, and the style of writing is like dialogue. There are also some social commentary. They talk about the social background of the place, the people who live there, and their lifestyle, their get up, their dress, their food, all this. So, more or less, this gives social impact. There are also sadhus with saffron clothes who impress the tourists who come there. And the writer was also impressed by him. And it is full of natural beauty. And the writer was partly like kids who enjoyed the fauna and flora of that locality. There are also legends. You know, if you go to any place, you will get a history of that. And there will be many stories behind it. And that is also there in Mani Mahesh. Myth and reality intertwining in the narrative. So he had tried to intertwine or combine myth and reality in this story, Mani Mahesh. And that is near the stone carvings on the Chamba temple shows the chronicle of the rule of the dynasties that goes back from 1500 years in time. This is all about the historical data of the place. Lakshmi Burman
Stone carving in Chamba temple.
shows the history of the place. Stone carvings, as we get carvings in our temples, there was also stone carvings in the Chamba temple, which tells the various historical events and the fictionalized accounts of the reign of kings like Aditya Burman, Meru Burman, Ajiya Burman, Lakshmi Burman, and Mushan Burman. They were the kings of that area. So the carvings on the temple, they describe the events of these kings during the period of these kings. It is mostly religious. The main focus of the writer is to say that that place is very religious, and it is very good for Hindu in origin, and folklore or myths and particular local are usually a part of the religious beliefs of the people of the place. There are so many temples, Devi temple, Goddess temple, Lord Shiva temple, so naturally it is very religious. The food found there are ripe corn, and they are spread over the rooftops for drying. As if roofs were covered with golden seeds. So this is all about Mani Mahes. Now write down question. What is Mani Mahes? How does the writer find it? As described in his book. Mani Mahes is not only a place, it speaks out its history or the history of the place for years. So I think the class is over. Thank you all for participating with these sessions, and I hope it will help you. If you find any difficulty, you can ask me. But I think if you read thoroughly, everything you can know. So wish you
Ma'am, this
all
is
the
your
best.
last class? Ma'am, this is your last class?
Yes, this is the last class.
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, thank you so much for the explanation. It really helped me.
Okay, thank you so much. Please read the texts
So much, ma'am.
and prepare by yourself and face the exam most successfully. All the best for you. Thank you.
Thank you
Thank you,
so
ma'am.
much, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Excuse me, sir. Hello, sir. Excuse me. We have no more classes now.
No, no, we don't have any class.
MEG 7 and 5 already done.
I think that if there will be any class, then we will get to know in our groups.
It's the last class of Bhubaneswar RC.
Which group, Shivani?
MEG-14, MEG-5, 7, 10, 14 completed.
Is there any special group for MEG 14?
I don't know. I am not in any.
If somebody has any group, I did not get the link for MEG 5 and 7, so I did not attend these classes.
Which SC?
MEG 5 and 7.
Which SC?
That time,
SC.
yes,
SC. Which SC? Are you belong to which SC?
regional.
Hmm. Regional center.
I'm from Khalikot, Barampur. I did not get the link at the time, so I unable to attend these classes about MEG 5 and 7.
Don't you get mail from your RC?
I get from mail, but the offline message was late, delay. You don't have any group?
From which RC you are?
I'm from Khalikot. I'm from Ganjam, na, so Khalikot College.
Actually, we have some Mega Mentors group on which we got to know about it. Maybe we cannot share the link or something about in
Uh,
here.
can you please join me? Can you please add me in the group?
Actually, I'm not allowed and I'm not even in a contact of them. But I think that you can do one thing. You can search on MEG Mentors on Google, and then I think that you can get something there about them,
If you
because
are,
they have some forms also to fill it out, and
I
then
can't
you
hear
will be able to join.
here. There, I can't hear you.
Sorry,
Can you
what
add
are you
me in
saying?
this group? Will you please add me in this
I'm not
group?
an admin, and I'm also not able to join you because it's not possible, and I don't know even about admins because they have uh, some priorities, like they have made a group on based of a form also, like they have provided us a form. By filling that form only we can be a part of it.
Okay. Then how you joined there? Shivani? Hello? Shivani? చూడు మాత్రకే
Am I audible?
now you are audible.
Do one thing, you can share me with your number. I will share to you the form. So if they
Shall
will
I?
allow,
Sure. I'm sharing my number on the message. You can check. Shivani, please note my number. If you can, then please join me in this group. Okay?
okay, I have written your number. I will send you the form, and after filling the form, admins are there who will be able to join you. I cannot do anything in that.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, most welcome. Okay, bye.
Will you please share your number, please?
I will message you.